Welcome to We Didn't Plan for This, a special series from How Yoga Changed My Life. Normally on the podcast, we talk about practices like movement, breathwork, and meditation, and how they've changed people's lives. But this series, it's different. It's about the moments that shift everything. The seasons you didn't see coming, and how we keep showing up anyway. And if something here resonates with you, follow our show, share it with someone who might need it, or send us a message. Because the truth is, we didn't plan for this, but we're here. Hi, this is Adrienne from We Didn't Plan for This, a special series from How Yoga Changed My Life, a podcast. Welcome. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you were there or what you were doing? Or have you lost your train of thought in the middle of a sentence? Do you find yourself struggling to remember things? Well, welcome to my life. Since Brian died, my brain has left the group chat. I'm really hoping this isn't permanent. My brain will now just occasionally wander off and forget where it put itself. I know I'm really overwhelmed by the house and all our stuff. Brian and I built this life together, and now I feel like I'm drowning in all of our physical stuff. I recognize everything that I need to do and how I need to start getting a plan together. Yet every time I start one task, I get distracted and end up starting 7 others and leaving the place a wreck. And after a while, I've really started to ask myself, am I losing my mind? Seriously? If my brain had an employee review right now, we'd be having a very uncomfortable meeting. Grief really affects your attention and your memory. It's hard to remember something in the moment when you're trying to compartmentalize the constant pull of grief, stress, paperwork, fear, and change. Your brain is so busy processing loss that information never gets fully coded in the first place. So throughout my grieving process, I've learned a term called grief brain or widow brain. It's when you have difficulty concentrating, memory lapses, forgetfulness, brain fog, and trouble making decisions. It's really crazy that grief experts have documented that these cognitive changes have happened for years. It's not new news. Because when someone dies, especially someone you've built your entire life around, your brain isn't just dealing with sadness. Your entire life has just changed overnight. It's dealing with everything. You're in mourning. You're stressed and probably not sleeping well. You have to make decisions that you never expected to make. Paperwork, finances, phone calls, creditors, appointments, legal paperwork, family information, future planning. And you're doing all of this while your heart is broken. I do think, though, that we underestimate how much work grieving actually is, not just emotionally, but mentally. My brain is constantly trying to process what happened while also trying to figure out how to keep life moving forward. It's like part of my brain is still standing in the wreckage while another part is trying to pay bills, answer emails, and remember where I put my keys. The best way that I can describe it, it's like having 97 browser tabs open. One of them is no will. My kids, my job, grieving, my future. And somehow there's music playing and I can't figure out which fucking tab it's coming from. That's widow or grief brain. But because my brain is carrying an enormous amount of information, emotion, responsibility, and change all at the same time, it's overwhelming. And honestly, I'm starting to think it's less surprising that we forget things and more surprising that we function at all. That's why I hear a lot of grieving people say, I don't even feel like myself anymore. Because in many ways, you aren't the same person you were before the loss. Your brain isn't just grieving. It's trying to learn an entirely new job description overnight. Before Brian died, there were things he handled, things I never thought much about because someone else was carrying that part of the load. Then suddenly every decision landed in my lap. Taxes, insurance, no will, house decisions, financial decisions, probate court. It's not that these things are impossible. It's just that you're being asked to learn them while you're grieving the person who used to help carry them. I remember sitting with my attorney talking about probate. I knew it was important. I was taking notes. I was nodding along. He was explaining what would happen, what paperwork needed to be filed, timelines, responsibilities, all the things I needed to understand. And somewhere in the middle of the conversation, my brain just checked out. Not because I didn't care, not because I wasn't listening, but because Brian had died. My future was uncertain. I was worried about my house. I was worried about my kids. I was worried about money. And my brain simply couldn't hold one more thing. I'm so grateful that Amelie was there with me. Because I remember walking out and thinking, I know all that was important, but honestly, I couldn't tell you half of what was just said. And that's when I really started to realize it wasn't forgetfulness, it was overload. I've stopped asking, what am I supposed to do now? And started asking, how can I take another step? What tools do I have to move through this? Because I certainly know now, more than ever, that no one else will ever take care of you but you. So I leaned on the skills that I've learned over the years by listening to what others have been through and how they've gotten through it. Meditation, breath work, movement, exercise, writing things down, calendar reminders, asking others for help. I'm still working on that one. Give yourself more grace. Again, I'm still working on a couple of these. Slow down before you assume you're failing. So widow brain or grief brain isn't really about forgetting. It's about adaptation, learning how to live a new life you never expected, carrying your grief while still trying to function, and showing up anyway. So maybe my brain isn't failing. Maybe it's adapting. Maybe my brain is doing exactly what a human brain does when it experiences one of the biggest losses life can hand you. And if this is where I am right now, then I'll try and give myself permission to be imperfect. We're not broken. We are grieving. And if you walked into a room today and forgot why you were there, welcome to the club. Pull up a chair. Apparently, there are a lot more of us here than I realized. If widow or grief brain has showed up in your life, I'd love to hear your stories. You can send me an email at yogachanged@gmail.com. Because after talking with other people who've experienced loss, I've learned I'm definitely not the only one wandering into rooms wondering where I am and why I'm there. If this conversation meant something to you, share it with someone who might need it too, or reach out and tell us what landed with you at Yoga Changed on Instagram. And before you go, take a breath. Take a second. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. We didn't plan for this, but we're here.